Today we're going to be talking about the next generation of advanced analytics in Viya. And before I start getting into too much detail, this is a topic that's near and dear to me. I'm a product marketing manager for Viya, so I love that. My name is Peyton Kutcha. I'm going to be your guide and your room captain for today. So if you're ever in theater too, come find me and I can help you with anything you need. With that, Jen, take it away.
Awesome, thank you. All right, building an effective analytics team today is not a simple task. As leaders, we're looking to hire not only for technical skills, but also for organizational fit, adaptability, and the ability to collaborate across different environments and platforms. Think about the challenges that we face in analytics today. Data scattered across multiple cloud systems, data still residing on on-prem legacy systems, and team members with varying analytic programming language preferences and skills. It's a reality that we're all dealing with. So the question becomes, how do we build a team that can thrive in this environment? Do we hire all SAS programmers? All Python experts? Do we require everyone to have the exact same skill set or background and experience? Of course not. That's not very realistic. So we want the best fit in our organization with the best skills, and then we need to provide them with tools that will allow them to collaborate effectively and accomplish the mission. So let me introduce you to the team today. First, we have Carlos Pinheiro, a distinguished data scientist based at our headquarters in North Carolina. Carlos holds a PhD. He has a couple patents, he's authored several books, and he's also a professor of analytics. With over 25 years of experience in various industries, he is not only as a practitioner, but also as a leader of analytic teams himself. Carlos specializes in network optimization, network analytics and optimization, and he's been a SAS coder his entire career. Next is Lizzie Mabe. She's a recent graduate with a master's in advanced analytics from NC State. After a short time in consulting, Lizzie made a career shift into data science. And she's also located at our headquarters and codes primarily in Python. Crystal Baker joined us from a major financial services firm where she managed their open source analytic workbench. She's skilled in both Python and R and works remotely from Boston, Massachusetts. And she's also our go-to expert in operationalizing analytics with decisions and intelligent agents. Robert Blanchard is a deep learning specialist with a particular focus on computer vision. He even has published a book on the topic. Robert's worked as a data scientist across multiple industries, and such as insurance and education. He has several patents and was also an analytics educator, and he's located in San Diego, California. And finally, we have Neela Venkateshwaran, a data scientist specializing in integrations with open source programming languages and model ops. She collaborates frequently with Robert on computer vision projects, is an open source programmer, and holds several patents. Neela works remotely from Detroit, Michigan. This team diversity is intentional. Different backgrounds, different skills, different perspectives, but all united with an analytic mindset and a commitment to driving business value. Let's take a look at what happens when this team faces an urgent business problem that spans multiple data sources, analytic techniques, and organizational priorities. It's Sunday night, 9:32 p.m., and I've just received an urgent email from our Chief Revenue Officer. The subject line reads, urgent, need answers for board in the morning. We've all been there, right? That when you get that email on a weekend or evening, and you know tomorrow's going to be pretty interesting. Before I jump to conclusions and schedule a meeting with the team and start rallying the troops, I should probably check our business intelligence dashboard. It wouldn't be the first time an executive misinterpreted information. So now we could see here that our CRO indeed has the information right, and the data confirms that our churn has a significant uptick. So it's time to assemble the team first thing Monday morning. No audio. Thank you for saying something, because we would have gone on forever. Please enjoy me in still motion, which I really hate. We did test this literally like less than an hour ago, and it totally worked. I swear. Yeah, I don't hear it out of here either. It's all the way up. Okay. I don't hear it out of there either, which I should, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
On
that's,
now?
yeah, I think we're good. Okay.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Milo.
Hey, Jen. Hey,
Hey,
team.
guys.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey, boss.
So thanks everyone for joining so early. I'm sure that you saw in my email and of course the company dashboard that we've got a bit of an issue with customer churn and the CRO is looking for answers for his board meeting today.
Hey boss, I have been looking at the returns data across all plans for the past 30 minutes. The Western plan is showing return rates 3 times higher than our normal baseline. So the pattern started out about 2 weeks ago and it's accelerating. So based on the current trend, we could see something around 12% hit to the quarterly revenue if you don't address this immediately.
Yeah, I see that as well. Should we halt the shipments from that plant while we investigate?
I think so. So the data clearly indicates that something changed in the production process. So basically, until we identify the root cause, we should stop distribution of potentially defective products.
Agreed. I'll notify operations right away. Now, we'll need everybody working on different aspects of the problem so we can triangulate on the root cause quickly.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I will look at how we can optimize our other plant operations to compensate for the current demand while this one is offline. So the East Coast plant data is in Databricks. So I will need to connect to there and probably create new forecasting optimization models.
Will that take long? We're kind of on a tight timeline here.
Not actually with SaaS Via. So I'm going to use the auto tuning features to speed things up given the time constraints. So the platform handles the connection to Databricks seamlessly. So I don't need to export data or set up special access. I should have primarily results within the hour. So I will look basically into the patterns associated with the churn, the demand planning, and mostly into the optimal redistribution throughout facilities and then the new routings.
Perfect, Carlos. Keep me posted.
Yeah, sure, boss.
All right. So
On my end, I'm already seeing an interesting trend in the return data. The customer service notes typically contain valuable information, so I'll perform some natural language processing on our customer service data to identify patterns and complaints. Oh, and that data is already available in our operations data lake on Azure.
Good thinking. What specifically do you think you'll be looking for?
Well, using SAS Via's visual text analytics capabilities, I'll identify common themes, some sentiment patterns, and specific product issues mentioned in customer service interactions. The platform integrates directly with our Azure Data Lake, so I can run the analysis without moving the data. I'll create a sentiment analysis visualization as well as a topic clustering map to identify key issues.
This is one of many areas where SAS Via truly shines. Our team is already accessing data across multiple clouds and data sources, Databricks, Azure, even our on-prem systems. Via centralizes all these analytic insights in one location, giving us a comprehensive view of this situation. Think about this for a minute. Carlos is working with manufacturing data in Databricks using SAS programming, while Crystal is analyzing customer service information on structured text in Azure using Via's low-code, no-code visual text analytics capabilities, all within the same platform. No data movement, no access issues, no compatibility problems, just seamless collaboration focused on solving the business problem. In traditional environments, we'd be spending valuable time just trying to connect and access the data across these different systems. But with Via, the team can immediately focus on analytics rather than infrastructure challenges.
Hey Jen, I've got something. Looking at the natural language processing results, there's a strong pattern in the complaints. So quality of fabric is mentioned in over 60% of returns. The sentiment analysis shows extreme disappointment with many customers saying they expected better from our brand. They are consistently reporting that garments are falling apart after just one wash.
That is strange. I thought we had streaming analytics in place in the manufacturing plants to assess product quality. I wonder how that's all getting missed.
Yeah, well, I had the same question as well. So I checked the system logs for our quality control processes. And remember that program that failed last week? Yeah, it didn't seem to be like a big deal at first, but it was written in Python by someone who left the company 5 years ago. And well, it was part of the QA program for fabric integrity testing. And the engineering team is still debugging it.
Well, that explains it. Good catch,
Yeah.
Crystal. Can you dig deeper into exactly what the customers are experiencing? Maybe that'll help us identify the specific manufacturing issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm using SAS Via to segment customer comments by product type and severity.
Hey team, hearing about the fabric quality issue, Neil and I can actually dive into this using some computer vision analytics on the manufacturing facility data. We should be able to identify exactly what's being missed in the quality inspection.
The board meeting is in a few hours. Do we happen to have time for such an advanced technique?
Yes, we can actually use the custom step we built for computer vision to save some time. And the nice thing here is that it's already configured in Via and we'll be running it on our on-premise GPUs, so we should have results within the hour.
And the beauty of our approach is that we've designed it to be a custom step, so it's reusable. It's a deep learning model specifically trained to detect subtle fabric defects that might not be visible to the human eye. Because we package this in a custom step in Via, we can run it immediately without having to recreate the modeling or pre-processing steps. We're also leveraging auto-tuning to perform neural architecture search and hyperparameter tuning. We can periodically schedule to retrain these pipelines to keep everything up to date.
That's exactly the kind of efficiency we need right now. Go for it.
We can also pull some historical data to see if there were any changes in the manufacturing process that coincide with the beginning of the quality issues.
Perfect. Let me know what you guys find.
As you can see, platforms like SAS Via are critical for managing analytic assets across an organization, which also simplifies governance and compliance. The custom step that Neela and Robert are using is a pre-configured process that they created and they shared internally in our organization via GitHub. This highlights an important aspect of modern analytics, the ability to democratize advanced techniques. Robert and Neela are computer vision specialists, but by packaging their expertise, they can, I'm sorry, totally distracted by the time back there. By packaging their expertise, they can allow others across the organization to perform computer vision capabilities. And that means others can benefit from that same type of analytic process without actually needing all the training and expertise that they have. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. So this custom step is a visual representation of the computer vision process, which is heavily code-based. It makes it accessible to non-specialists, as we said. You can see each step from data ingestion to the model training to the output data set. And the user just enters the specifics for their particular project, and the custom step handles the rest. This transparency builds trust in the process while accelerating complex tasks like dynamic model building, auto-tuning, and that neural architecture search, producing results in minutes when it typically takes weeks.
While the rest of the team is looking at the root cause, I think we need to address the customer experience for those who've already purchased the defective products. I can use SAS via Workbench in Marketing's AWS tenant to create a recommender engine in Python. This would help us provide personalized solutions based on purchase history in our Snowflake database.
That sounds really helpful, Lizzie. How would that work?
So I can build a hybrid recommendation system that considers both collaborative filtering, which looks at what similar customers have found satisfactory in similar situations, and content-based filtering based on product attributes. The goal is to identify personalized replacement options or promotional offers that would best satisfy each affected customer. That way we can be confident that their next experience with us is positive.
What about our spring collection that just launched? Could that be incorporated?
Yeah, absolutely. I can weight the recommendations to prioritize those new products where appropriate. And I should be able to turn this around pretty quickly, since with SAS via Workbench, I can incorporate the techniques I already know in Python, while still leveraging the enterprise features of the VIA platform. And because VIA connects directly to our Snowflake data in AWS, I don't need to create extracts or worry about data currency.
That is really a great idea, Lizzie. Let's do it.
So building on Lizzie's recommendation engine idea, I will start a SAS Intelligent Decisioning project to automatically redirect all purchasing fulfillment to our other manufacturing plants. We can incorporate Lizzie's recommendation engine for optimal client experience. And I'm thinking we should include API calls to our large language model to assist customer service reps dealing with the high call volumes.
I hadn't even thought about the increased customer service volume. How would that work for them?
Well, when a customer calls about a defective product, the service rep would enter some basic information, and then the system would, say, pull the customer's purchase history, identify if their purchase included products from the affected plant. We could then generate personalized recommendations based on Lizzie's model. We could then use the LLM to craft customized responses in easy to understand language that the rep can use. And then finally, we would automatically initiate the return and replacement process with optimized shipping from the unaffected plant.
What Crystal is implementing highlights another critical aspect of modern analytics, the need to operationalize insights quickly. It's not enough to simply identify what's happening. We also want to turn that understanding into actions that drive business value. Those actions can be automated rules, analytic models, or intelligent agents that also leverage generative AI components. With SAS Via, we move from insight to action in the same platform, dramatically reducing the time to value and ensuring that our analytic investments translate directly to improved business outcomes.
Boss, I have great news on the optimization front. I found a way to reroute production through our other facilities, and the new optimization projects a 4% increase in profit margins in the near term. So this will help offset the costs from returns and defect merchandise.
Oh, how is that possible?
Uh, I ran multiple optimization scenarios using SAS via mathematical optimization capabilities. So what I discovered was that our West plant, while having the highest production capacity, actually has the highest per unit production cost and the least efficient logistic routes. So basically, by redistributing production to our other two plants and optimizing both the production schedule and the logistic routes through the distribution centers, we reduce overall costs while maintaining nearly the same production capacity. So this around 4% margin improvement comes primarily from logistic savings and better resource utilization at the other plants.
The board is going to love that. That's fantastic. Did you happen to factor in any increased overtime that we might need at the other plants?
I knew you'd ask this, boss. So yes, the optimization model includes labor and resource constraints alongside the overtime costs. So even with those factored in, we still see the 4% improvement.
This highlights an often overlooked aspect of analytic platforms, the ability to convey findings in a way that business leaders and non-technical stakeholders can easily understand. Via's intuitive user interface allows most business leaders to understand the analytics process in general, but if you need to create some sort of dashboards to convey it to larger groups, you can certainly do that and tell the story at a glance. The dashboard Carlos created clearly tells that story and makes it very easy to understand that type of what we've found with optimization.
Jen, we've completed our analysis using our computer vision models, and let me show you the results. The models seem to be performing pretty well with a high degree of accuracy, and auto-tuning is making it easy for us to find a good model as well. The defects are minor, but if you see on the left side is what the fabric looks like to the human eye during inspection. Nothing seems obvious, right? But on the right is what our computer vision model detected, those subtle irregularities in the weave tension that creates those micro weaknesses in the fabric.
We suspect the issue is in the tension control during the weaving process. This process creates these micro weaknesses in the fabric that only become apparent after washing. The pattern suggests that this started exactly when we had the system updated 2 weeks ago. We've trained our model to detect even the slightest variations in weave patterns. What's happening is that these weak points allow the fabric to start unraveling after exposure to water and detergent, something that wouldn't have been caught by a standard quality inspection.
Well, that makes perfect sense. So I've just completed a deeper analysis of the customer reviews, and a lot of customers were indicating only getting one wear out of the garment before washing made it completely unwearable. To be specific, the exact language used was unraveling at the seams and threads coming loose. So very consistent with the tension issues you identified.
Excellent detective work, everyone. Do we happen to know what caused the tension control in the first place?
Yes, we cross-referenced the manufacturing logs with the system update timeline, and it appears that the update changed some of the default settings on the weaving machines. The operators didn't notice it because the change was very subtle and the visual appearance of the fabric wasn't obviously different.
So I know what you're thinking. This scenario seems like a TV drama, like an episode of Homelander 24. But for many businesses, this is a reality, these types of urgent situations. The pressure to deliver insights can be intense, and the business impact of analytic decisions is very real. The diversity in teams, analytic methodologies, cloud ecosystems, that typical enterprise have to deal with can be challenging to manage, but not with SAS Via. The same SAS reliability, powerful analytics, Performance and governance that you're used to in your multi-vendor architecture now extends to multi-language and multi-cloud architectures that empower modern analytic teams. SaaS Viya gives us the foundation to build those teams based on what truly matters: business acumen, domain expertise, problem solving, rather than specific technical skills or tool proficiency. This flexibility isn't nice to have, it's essential. That's the power of Viya, and that's how modern analytics teams deliver exceptional value using the most powerful and productive analytics platform on the planet. Thanks for attending.
Everyone give it up for Jen. Thank you so much, Jen. That was an amazing presentation. So we are at time, so we don't have much space for questions. If there are any quick questions, we can try to answer them in just a moment. Raise your hand, let me know, and I can bring the microphone over. Otherwise, thank you so much, Jen. We really appreciate you. That was an amazing presentation.